George Herbert was born on April 3, 1593, in Montgomery, Wells. He was the fifth of 9 children. He had 6 brothers and 3 sisters. George was only 3 when his father passed away, leaving George's mother alone to raise all 9 children. His family was wealthy and also very artistic, which helped George Herbert gain a good education. Herbert received his education at Westminster School and Trinity College in Cambridge. Herbert had a tremendous passion for poetry. Herbert started writing holy sonnets, which he dedicated to his mother, whom he loved dearly. His first 2 sonnets were written in 1610, when George Herbert was just 17. He sent them to his mother, and she read about how the love of God is a worthier subject for verse than the love of a woman. Herbert had his first poems published whenever he was 19. The poems were memorial poems for the death of Prince Henry. The poems were written in Latin and published in 1612. George Herbert received his bachelor's degree in 1613 and his master's degree in 1616. He was then elected as a professor at Cambridge to teach reader and rhetoric for a few years. Then, when Herbert was 27, he took up the position of public orator at Cambridge. This was a high honor and presented George Herbert much dignity at the university. He wrote and gave many public speeches on behalf of the university. When Herbert was 22, he was elected to represent Montgomery in Parliament. 2 years after taking the position, Herbert's mother died. Herbert's stepfather delivered the funeral sermon. Herbert then married his stepfather's cousin, Jane Danvers. Herbert could have kept on climbing up the social ladder, but instead he decided to give up on his worldly ambitions. Herbert took up residence at a church near Salisbury. The church was called Bemerton. Bemerton is where Herbert decided to preach and write his poetry. One of George's favorite Bible verses was Philippians 4:11-13, which reads, "Not that I speak in regard to need, nor I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." The rest of Herbert's life was dedicated to Bemerton Church. He cared deeply for the members and helped rebuild the church out of his own money. He died of consumption on March 1st, 1633. He was 40 years old. Here is one of George Herbert's poems, called Bittersweet. "Ah, my dear angry Lord, since thou dost love, yet strike, cast down, yet help afford, sure I will do the like. I will complain, yet praise, I will bewail, approve, and all my sour sweet days I will lament and love.